This Money Watch segment is brought to you by Prudential.
The American housing market is on the upswing after the bubble burst during the recession of the late 2000s. According to data from Zillow, the average value of a home hit its low point during the first 3 months of 2012. During that time, Zillow says the average home value was just around $148,000. Since then, that number has now increased to $218,000 in August of this year. Well, Zillow projects that number is actually expected to rise to $232,000 by next July, 2019. And if you're one of those lucky few ready to buy the perfect home, we've got you covered. Earlier, I spoke with Lauren Riefflin. She's a spokesperson for Zillow, and she has some tips about mortgage lenders. All right, so what are, Lauren, the first steps you've got to know before buying a home?
Well, a third of buyers that Zillow has surveyed said that figuring out what their budget is one of the most challenging things that they have to do in their home shopping process. So one is start thinking about your budget and start thinking about it early. And the way that you do that is to assemble a team of professionals.
So how do you figure out how much home you can really buy?
Well, honestly, your mortgage lender is going to be your best friend when it comes to figuring out how much home you can afford. Oftentimes, a pre-approval is one of the first steps that a mortgage lender and yourself are going to go through, and that's going to help you get all of your financial documentation together, your debit, your credit, your income statements, so you understand how much home you can afford. But you still have to think about those additional costs on top of a monthly mortgage payment and build those into your home buying budget too.
You know, almost a decade ago, you just remember when people were buying homes and almost could qualify for anything. How do you know what mortgage lenders you can trust?
You really have to read reviews. So the same way that you would buy something on Amazon or research a restaurant on Yelp, you read reviews and talk to people. You have interviews. You ask them questions just like you would anything else. Like, you want to make sure that you find a professional who understands what you're looking for and who you can trust. So any communication, especially that initial contact, that's your first impression of them. And they're going to be able to give you, they should be able to give you multiple quotes. So make sure that you're getting different mortgage rates, you're talking to different lenders, and you're really vetting for someone who understands what you want.
How do you factor in those repairs and things that you need to do with the house? How do you keep that in mind when you're figuring out your budget?
Well, the first thing is to just know that they will happen. As a homeowner, you are the one that is responsible for replacing a roof, having to replace a water heater or a furnace, and those can be thousands of dollars. So just make sure that you have that slush fund, because those are definitely repairs that you don't want to be caught without funds for.
All right, Lauren Riefflin, thank you very much for joining us, Lauren.
Thanks for having me.